Hello and welcome back. I'm Will.
And I'm Megan.
And we're the Clark team.
In Florida.
Welcome to our official YouTube channel. We're going to real quickly in this video go over what Brevard County is. Kind of like a 30,000 foot view of Brevard County.
Yes.
So quick facts.
Quick facts.
Okay.
Quick maths.
And we have them right here.
Yes.
So we can't get them wrong.
Can't get them wrong.
First.
Because it's a lot.
And we're going to put the map on the screen too. It'll be over
right
here. Over here. The map's going to be here.
It'll be right here.
You'll be able to reference the map.
Right, somewhere right here.
So Brevard County, it's about 60 miles from north to south and about 20 miles from east to west. About 1,500 square miles. It's like the size of Rhode Island.
Which is insane.
Might be the greatest state. Well, I'm just from there.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the greatest state. You know which is, though? As voted by most people in America?
Florida?
Florida. Just making this up. Making it up as we go along.
Don't just make things up.
These are the opinions of ourselves.
Yes.
And not anybody or company we're affiliated with. That's an official disclaimer.
Official.
We can now say whatever we want. But we're gonna.
Okay.
So, a lot of people love Brevard County for the beaches.
Yes.
Tell me about the beaches.
There's 70 miles
of coastline
between the beaches and the rivers here, which there are two, Banana River and the Indian River,
Yeah.
Which is split by Merritt Island.
Yes.
Yes, which then goes into the Indian River.
Yes.
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 So that's pretty neat. And can you tell me, I know you can, but can you tell me how many access points there are public?
Over 180 beach access points in Brevard County. So if you're a beach lover, it's a great place. Real good surfing, good fishing from some of the beaches.
Absolutely.
Fishing for shark while people are swimming nearby.
Probably not the best
idea. It happens.
But
We swim in our pool.
Oh, and you know what? I would, just real quick, safety tip. If you're going to be swimming, watch out for riptides.
Yes. Well, there's plenty of public beaches with lifeguards. Yeah. Stay near a lifeguard.
Stay near a
If you find yourself caught in a riptide, swim parallel to the beach. Don't try to swim to the beach.
Is that right?
The more you know. Yeah, because the riptide is bringing you back out. And if you swim towards the beach, you're like swimming in a treadmill. Look it up.
It's in a book.
There are over 16 municipalities, proper cities and towns within Brevard County with their own form of government. But there's also a lot of unincorporated areas that are like, you might hear them referred to, like Viera is a great example. A lot of people have heard of Viera. It's a planned community, but it's not its own city. There is no formal government in charge of Viera.
It falls under the county.
Right. There's, We're going to edit that out. Silence. There is some you may have heard of, like Melbourne, Merritt Island, Satellite Beach, Cocoa Beach, which is different than Cocoa. We'll put those on the map as well.
Two different places.
And the biggest, 89 square miles, is Palm Bay.
Palm Bay, which has like how many residents?
120,000 plus residents.
Yes. And it's mostly residential.
Yeah. So a lot of people are moving to Brevard County for employment opportunities.
Yes.
So tell the folks at home, well, who are some of the major employers here?
Well, I happen to have a list.
You happen to have a list.
I happen to have a list.
Check
because
it
there
twice.
are quite a few. We have Health First Community Health System.
Yes. Health First.
Health First. They do a lot of medical around here. There's medical offices, hospitals, a lot of Health First affiliation.
Health First owns Holmes Regional Medical Center in Melbourne, Florida, level 2 trauma center.
Yes.
Only one in the county. So we're second best to Orlando. If they can't take care of you here.
Short flight over.
Yeah. It's a bad day.
It's a really bad day. I don't want to talk about that.
Who else are some of the other employers?
Brevard County.
The county.
With the school system, the sheriff's office, fire rescue, parks rec, emergency management, etc.
But what are we really known for here in Brevard County? Coined the Space Coast.
Oh, funny you should ask. The Department of Defense and NASA.
Yes.
And SpaceX.
Yes.
And Blue Origin.
Yes.
And ULA.
Yes.
And Northrop Grumman.
What's super... I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just listing all of the...
Hey, Doug. It's our mascot. Doug, can you get up on the table? Say hi to the folks at home. You're so
Hello,
cute.
Douglas.
Oh, you
You're
stink.
such a good boy.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Beat it on down to
cut you
Funky
off,
Town.
but I did want to mention your list of employers is quite evident that this is the Space Coast for a reason.
Yes.
There's a lot of space exploration. Space tourism is up and coming. There's a lot of things happening with the space industry.
Yes. And those that support it.
So it's booming. And it's not just NASA like it was back in the days of the space race. It's not just government funded. In fact, there's a lot more jobs in the private sector of space exploration and travel than in the government sector.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, the DoD and NASA, U.S. Air Force, Space Force, Navy, they're all here, and they're still hiring a bunch of people. Patrick Space Force Base is moving like an entire headquarters of the Space Force to here,
the Space Coast,
which is going to increase our population.
I mean, it only makes sense.
And jobs. So yeah, Blue Origin, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Harris, a bunch of companies supporting the industry.
Absolutely.
There's also a huge aerospace presence.
Yes.
Which has always been here, but it's growing.
Right.
Who are some of the heavy hitters there?
Embraer.
Yes.
Of course.
A Brazilian executive jet company.
Dassault Aviation is coming out.
They are a company that builds private business jets and some fighter jets too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, but they're building a facility here at Melbourne International to, I think, retrofit like avionics and other stuff into some of their older and newer aircraft.
Boeing.
Yep.
And we also have a lot of flight schools here.
Yes.
On the Space Coast.
Which is great.
Which is really great.
So healthcare, we touched on healthcare. There's a ton of hospitals, doctors' offices, level 2 trauma center. Can I talk about the education system?
I would love for you to talk about the education system.
There are over 70,000 students in the Brevard County public school system.
And growing.
There are more schools every year. It seems like they're breaking the population. A lot of people moving here. So the school systems
gotta have somewhere for the kids to go.
Are keeping up.
They're trying to keep up.
Yes. They have about a 20-to-1 student to teacher ratio, and the public schools rank above average for Florida public schools. And there's also a ton of private and charter school options here as well.
Yes.
Tell us about the higher education available here.
Oh, the higher education. County. Well, we have we have more than 2 colleges. I'm sorry. 2 like really main colleges. Yeah. Eastern Florida State College, which offers over 150 programs up to 4 years.
4-year degree programs.
And we have the Florida Institute of Technology. FIT.
Yes.
Which is a world-class engineering school.
It is.
And we have a lot of really great engineers that come out of that school.
They have a huge flight school too.
They do.
Extremely active at Melbourne International. There's other flight schools there, but they're the biggest. Huge campus.
Yes. With Eastern Florida State, I missed this, there is a UCF.
University of Central Florida.
Yes. Connect there.
Yes.
So they also have satellite classes. So you don't have to drive all the way out to Orlando for some classes.
Right.
You can just go to one of their satellite campuses there. We also have Barry University and a satellite campus for Embry-Riddle.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
And that's all growing too.
Yeah.
When we moved here, it was Brevard Community College, not Eastern Florida State College. And it was a commuter school. It was a community college with like 2-year degree programs.
Yeah.
Only.
They've even
built
dorms.
Now they even have dorms.
I
they
know.
Have dorms
they
and
have
resident
dorms
students and 4-year programs.
They're constantly building out at their Melbourne campus, and they have campuses up and down Brevard County as well.
Mr. Douglas.
I know.
All right. Recreation and entertainment.
Well.
Let me tell you
something.
There's a couple of like older local civic theaters that put on programs. Our daughter was in the Henniger Center in Melbourne. They have
the Feller Academy.
The Feller has a youth theater academy. There's the King Center for the Performing Arts, which is on campus at Eastern Florida State College.
Yes.
And that's a local venue that brings in, some good names. I mean, like B-list. It's not like a huge...
I feel like they bring in more like good comedy names.
A lot of good stand-up comedians.
But they do have musicians.
And some smaller, Yep.
Yeah.
We've got downtown centers in Melbourne, Titusville, O'Galley, Cocoa Village. Cute, quaint, little historic downtown walkable
in Titusville.
Areas.
Did you say Titusville?
I did say Titusville.
Okay. I didn't know for sure if you did.
With a lot of local small businesses, retailers, and bars and restaurants and stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like those are even continuing to grow.
Every year.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So we also have beaches. We have all the water sports,
of
obviously.
Course.
Beaches, sailing, fishing, boating, There's lots of boat rental places everywhere.
Inland fishing, offshore fishing, a lot of water, right? We're a long and skinny county with a lot of intercoastal water. However, there's only 2 ways to get out, and that's at the very north and very south tip of the county. So there's a lot of river sports, not a whole lot of ocean stuff going on.
No.
To get out to the ocean, Cape Canaveral or Sebastian Inlet, and those are quite a distance apart.
Yeah.
But we've gone offshore fishing out of Cape
out
Canaveral.
Of Cape Canaveral.
Lot to do. Okay, let's talk travel into and out of Brevard County.
Okay.
Go.
We happen to have an international airport, the Melbourne-Orlando International Airport.
And we'll tell you, it's not like an international airport because there's like one flight to the Bahamas. No, says I. Tell us about it.
Well, they happen to service Pittsburgh, Nashville, Charlotte, D.C., New Haven, Atlanta, Minneapolis, England, Ireland, and get this, Scotland.
Did you remember all that just for this video?
I did.
I could tell.
I totally didn't. I totally didn't read it off of the.
You've been practicing
my
your lines.
But no, it's really cool, and I feel like they're constantly expanding. I think Allegiant they just announced that Allegiant's going to be coming in through the airport there.
So some like discount airlines flying cheap from here to there. However, it's usually more pricey to fly out of Melbourne because it's a smaller, very convenient airport. So if the price is too high or they don't service an area that you want to get to,
we have Orlando, which from where we live, which is just about, I would say, like south central like area, Brevard County.
Yeah.
It takes us about 45 minutes to an hour to get to Orlando Airport.
It's all highways getting in there. You're not sitting in Orlando traffic to get to the airport. So it's super convenient to get in and out, and you get anywhere in the world from Orlando International. And then is that everything about the airports?
That's everything about the airports. There's one other way to travel.
There's a few other ways.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking Brightline.
We need to stop here.
We're going to tell you every single time.
Marge, tell me about the Brightline.
Well, the Brightline starts in Orlando. Well, it doesn't start in Orlando, but you can leave from Orlando.
Yes.
And then go down to...
Where does a train start?
Ooh.
At a terminal. That's the difference between a terminal and a station. Oh. A terminal is where the rails end. I learned that on Architectural Digest.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, Brightline starts or whatever in Orlando.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't stop until it gets to West Palm Beach.
West Palm, and then it goes to
Fort Lauderdale.
The people need to know the facts, Megan. Orlando, West Palm, Boca, Fort Lauderdale. I've memorized this, okay?
I'm so
Aventura and then Miami. You need to take this seriously.
Okay. Anyway.
It doesn't stop here.
It doesn't stop here.
Rips through at 80 miles an hour. Tempts you.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, you could stop right
It's
here.
going to happen. We're just going to keep talking about it until it happens.
Until it happens. So anyway, also.
Oh, that's one other way.
Yes.
To travel in or out. What are our other options? We covered air and rail.
And what about by sea?
By sea. How do we travel via the waterways out of here, Megan?
Well, we do have something called Port Canaveral, which is the home to many cruise lines.
Yeah. Some of the cruise lines servicing Port Canaveral are Disney, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, Princess, and there are other smaller ones. But there's over 20 ships that home port here, and Port Canaveral has been named let me get this right. I didn't memorize this part here. The best home port in the U.S. for 3 years in a row now.
3 years in a row.
If you look at it, I remember I was given all the facts about Port Canaveral years ago, and I looked at it, and I'm like, that's it?
I don't know about that.
Because I've seen some big ones.
But you know what?
There's a ton of throughput, though. There are a ton of ships coming and going. It is, I think, the country's busiest cruise ship terminal.
Is it?
I don't know. I said it, so it's true now.
It's on the internet.
What were you going to say?
I saw their Instagram, Port Canaveral's Instagram. Yep. They had 9 ships docked.
At once?
At once. Plus a barge with the Falcon 9 booster on it.
So they had...
Booster is the booster that lands back again?
The stage 1
yeah.
booster.
Yeah. I want to make sure I get that right.
So they had a spaceship at the port as well? Cruise
Is it a
ships,
spaceship?
cruise ships and spaceships.
All the ships.
All at Port Canaveral. There's so many ships at Port Canaveral. Just
even relationships.
Aww.
You know.
That was a good one.
So.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You know what we missed?
But there's still time.
I'm looking through my notes here. We didn't talk about one of the best, and this is ranked nationally, best places in Brevard County.
Oh, the zoo. The Brevard Zoo.
Hello.
Well, we have one of the top 10 zoos in the country, if not the entire world.
Yeah, it's a really great zoo. It's a lot of fun. There's lots of things to do there. You can do the little treetop trek. And you can also kayak through the zoo.
With the alligators.
Straight by the giraffes.
Yep.
But they also do a lot of stuff, which I didn't know they did birthday parties. Our daughter had her birthday party there this year.
It was so cool.
Awesome.
It's just like nighttime birthday party where the whole zoo is shut down and your birthday parties are the only people there.
Yeah.
Well, with the zoo people.
Right. For the
Yeah. And we had like night vision goggles. And
they got to make
they
got to make slime, and they got some animal encounters.
Yeah.
And it was educational, but also really fun. And I would highly recommend it.
It was really cool.
The
zoo is like everything else, because there's so many people moving here. It's getting better every year.
It's growing.
We moved here 10 years ago, and this place is like unrecognizable compared to when we got here.
Yes.
Okay, so we mentioned the zoo.
The zoo and the aquarium that's coming to Port Canaveral.
Port Canaveral is getting an
aquarium. It's not built yet, but it's coming. So.
Neither is the Brightline train station.
But it's coming.
Let's talk about real estate.
Real estate.
The reason you all came here, we are your Space Coast Realtors. We're here to help you buy and sell a house. And now we know the market can be tricky to navigate right now.
Absolutely.
Interest rates are higher than consumers are really wanting to pay.
Yeah, comfortable.
Right? So, with the amount of people moving here, the amount of jobs, the amount of growth, the stimulated real estate economy, it's no different here than anywhere else. Like, prices went kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
However, right, we're holding steady. We're still seeing growth.
Yes.
We're seeing more houses available on the market. So inventory is increasing, but it's still a seller's market. There's about 3 months of inventory. So if no more houses were listed right now, it would take about
3 months.
3 months for everything to get bought. Right, so that's considered 3 months inventory. Anything from 0 to 5 months is considered a seller's market. But with interest rates being the way they are, and with insurance rates being the way they are, it's putting a little bit of leverage back in the buyer's position.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're seeing some sellers that are willing to give concessions. We're seeing some houses, having to reduce prices. We're seeing these things that are more consistent with the buyer's market. So without diving way far into the numbers, the average days on market, if you're going to sell a house, is about 20 to 30 days.
Yeah.
20 to 30 days, your house will sell. So they're not lasting on the market very long. It's still very hot. And the median sales price is $349,000. So that means half of the houses were sold above that, half of the houses were sold below that. Depending on the zip code, depending on the area,
absolutely,
you're going to have a great fluctuation in median or average sales price. The average sales price is much higher. So that's kind of your metrics in terms of where we're at.
Yeah.
We'll do more videos that kind of dive further into detail. This is supposed to be kind of a Brevard County overview. So that's why we're not going to go too far into the numbers. And every situation is different. Every deal is different. Every house is different. Every neighborhood is different. There's so much diversity and so much growth,
that goes into
development, and new construction.
Oh my gosh,
that
new construction is
it's
insane.
all going to play a part.
Yes.
So
yeah, we're going to do videos about specific areas, housing, etc. I don't know, weekly?
Who knows? As we do. We'll do it as fast as we do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. But I mean, it's not going to be slow, though.
It's not going to be slow, though.
No.
This was the Brevard County overview, right? So if you're moving here, maybe you're finding this video. If you live here, maybe you want to send this video to somebody who's thinking about moving here or whatever's. But that was the intent of today. I think we captured it.
I think so.
I think we got it.
And if there's anything you want to know specifically about an area of Brevard,
leave a comment.
Put it in the comments, or feel free to contact us if you don't want to comment. But
you can text me.
You can comment.
Yeah.
So
like and subscribe.
Stay
tuned for the next video. Thanks for stopping in. I'm Will.
I'm Megan.
Don't hit your microphone thing. Your Brevard County realtors.
On the Space Coast.
Welcome to the Space Coast. That was a good one.
Okay.
That was a good one. We're going to keep that. That's a wrap. That's a fact check.
That's fact check.